Hi.
We're ready to start.
We're starting. Maybe I should introduce myself. My name is Rochelle Silvoro, and I'm an alumni of George Brown College for the Institute Without Boundaries. I graduated 2011, and so off and on I've been helping the school with some of their communication, marketing, and recruitment. And I just feel that there's another way that we can do it that's more dynamic than how we've been doing it in the past, which is why we're doing this little fun thing.
And I am the experiment.
Okay. And Megan is our experiment.
I'm Megan Budgell. I graduated from GBC's game design program in September.
Design? I thought it was game dev.
No, it's game design.
Okay.
Game design. Supposed
Wow, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Right now I'm running some events that are specifically for game devs that we'll get into later.
Yeah. Or right now. Tell us
right
more.
Now. Or right now. Okay, so I started off in the game design program running a whole bunch of events for the program, like setting up showcases, that kind of thing. Turned into a thing called Eat, Play, Mingle, which I turned...
Was this through the IGDA stuff or separate?
This was through the IGDA stuff. So it's through Club the School. IGDA has a chapter at GBC.
Ooh, people are coming. That's cool. Come on through. Yeah, come on through. We're in a hallway. Come on through. Thank you.
Down the steep stairs.
Be careful.
So... It's gonna be so awkward every time.
So hilarious. Whatever.
Okay, so through Club the School got IGDA GBC.
Yeah.
Ran events called Eat, Play, Mingle. Eat, Play, Mingle turned into a company that I now own.
Wicked.
We run a bar night called Bonus Stage, where game devs basically come practice their public speaking. They get 5 minutes for 5 speakers, and we're switching venues.
What?
Yeah, we're switching venues. So we're now going to be at an actual video game bar.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Yeah. Which is going to be really cool, and like it lights up. And it has all different colors, so we get to do all of our branding everywhere.
Wow.
Super
really
nice.
Cool.
And they're very into the game dev community, so they're giving it to us for free, and we get to just run our event. Really
what is her name? Do a shout out.
Power Up Game Bar.
There you go.
It's down at like Jarvis and Wellington.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I'm only a year into living in Toronto.
Google it. You should Google where the spot is. So then, what is the difference then between game design and game development? Because you're doing stuff for game dev, but it's game design.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. It's along the same lines.
Is it?
Yeah. So I mean, there are like when you get into bigger teams, there are specifically game designers, and then there's programmers and artists.
Right.
But really, anybody can be a game designer. It just depends on how big your team is.
Interesting.
Normally, the game design role is the one doing all the documentation, making sure that the game like matches their vision. They normally
almost like a creative director.
Yes.
Like that. Okay.
But there is also creative directors in games too.
Within the team.
But they normally handle like the art side.
Right. But not the story side, or both.
Both.
Wow.
It gets really everybody's roles are called all different things.
Right. But do you feel that they all kind of work well together in terms of where their position is and what they have to do? Like it's...
Yeah, and I mean, it depends on like how big the team is. So you can have like a game design degree.
Right.
Like I do, and be looking for game design jobs, or I mean, also looking for production management jobs, which is where I'm going. But yeah, I don't really know.
Okay. So then why did you go into the whole like management production side then?
That's kind of where I feel like I fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in the game design classes, there's production and management classes, and there's normally a game that's being made that week.
Right.
And it's whoever ends up as lead that normally manages the project, and I ended up being lead on like 1 or 2 throughout the year. So that's kind of the roles that I end up in.
Right.
Is managing people.
I was a gamer when I was 7 to 10, but I'm no longer a gamer.
Do you play mobile games?
No.
Do you play board games?
No.
Do you play card games? Who are you? Do you play checkers?
I play rugby.
I mean, I guess that could count as a game. That's technically a game.
So, but I wouldn't count myself as a gamer, rugby gamer.
So Rochelle, what game did you play when you were 7?
It was probably the Nintendo Mario Brothers the whole time.
That was a huge one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one for girls. A lot of girls.
A lot of like, doot doot.
I was the duck hunt.
Yes!
With the gun?
Hunt.
Oh my gosh. Give me like cool controllers and I'm in.
So that's coming back, right? The retro stuff. Like
Yeah.
that, you can still find that stuff.
I feel like it's become its own little niche,
Really?
where people that really like want to have a nostalgia trip will go find these games that are just
Right.
nostalgic. So I feel like it's not coming back. It's not like a trend. It's here to stay.
It's just like
it's just
always
its own
been there.
genre of yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
Huh. So we didn't answer my question. What do you think a gamer is?
It's because I was avoiding the question. Because I don't know. Gamer is just like a label that I don't think we really need. It's kind of like if you watch a lot of TV, like calling yourself a watcher. You know, like it's
That is
along
what
those
I
lines.
am. I am a watcher.
But what do you watch? It tells me nothing about you.
That's true.
It doesn't tell me if you watch documentaries or like sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah.
gamer is such a broad term because you can be like a board gamer, you can be a video gamer.
Right.
You can just be into D&D,
Right.
which is coming back.
Tell me more. What is D&D?
We'll get into D&D later.
Ah. I don't know any of these terms.
But I think gamer is just kind of like a label that we don't need. Everybody's a gamer. My grandma's a gamer.
I see.
She plays
So
she
it's
plays
super
on
broad.
I
Pogo
see
like
that on
web
a
games.
t-shirt. My grandma's a gamer.
My grandma's a gamer.
So tell me about the industry now in terms of games, because when I was growing up, we were told to stop because it would get us nowhere.
Oh,
But
it's
now,
like rock and roll.
yeah, but now people are making millions of dollars playing games and making games. So like, can you tell us a little about the industry? You know, I mean, I know a little bit about, like, I can drop like AAA games in Ubisoft, but that's about the extent of like the different segmentations of the industry.
Okay. That's a big question, Michelle.
I want to
So-
know. I want to know. I want to know.
Like what? Like these? What do you?
Okay, so there's the top studios, right?
Right.
that
There's like
do-
your EA, your Ubisoft, your
Right.
BioWare. I'm sure.
So do
missing.
people want to do that for a lot of their people when they come into the industry? Do you think? Like, are people aspiring to that level of? Because to me, it looks like a sweatshop, right? Or
I mean,
just
like
really
I think if
just
you
going-
want stability, you're gonna go and you're okay
And you're good,
with
right?
following.
Gotcha.
And like you don't, not that you don't have that entrepreneurship thing, but you're really into not taking risks and like
Yeah.
you want stability in your life. I think you're gonna go with like the big
The
big
big corporate,
AAA corporate job.
right?
Where if you're more on the entrepreneurial route, you're gonna go indie. You're probably gonna start with like a smaller indie team doing
Right.
play testing, that kind of thing, and work your way up from there.
Mhm, mhm.
Eventually running your own studio. So it depends on like where your drive
I
is at.
see. Gotcha.
Most of the people that I know are sort of starting their own thing though.
Just because they don't want to go into the corporate world and just they feel that there's more freedom with them doing their own, like they have
Yeah.
different visions as opposed to constantly cranking out like Assassin's Creed every
Yeah,
couple
exactly.
of years. Yeah.
Exactly. And when you have like a big mix of skills and you don't want to just use one skill, like you don't want
Ah.
to just be an artist, you'd like to also maybe dabble in code, dabble in writing, that kind
Right.
of thing. I think indie teams are more where that's applicable.
Huh. So how is it for them to get their games published? Like how does that whole thing happen? Because you can make a game, right?
Yeah.
But then how do you get it to the masses?
I
Is there a
mean-
system? Is there a way? Like I'm trying to
Like
think
it depends. It depends on what you're doing. So if you're doing like PC, there's Steam Direct now, which
Okay.
is like because they got rid of Greenlight. I don't really know how that works now, but it's like $100 fee, and your game is listed on Steam. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But they used to have the Greenlight process where people would like, you'd have to get a community behind you to go and like
Mhm.
up the game. And then after you reach a certain threshold,
Right.
then Steam would come through and like occasionally put new games on Steam. It was very wishy-washy.
Right.
I don't really know how Steam Direct works now,
Gotcha.
but you can just list your game
Mm-hmm.
and see how it goes.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Getting onto console is a different story. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah.
That's
the whole
normally
thing.
reaching out to Xbox has like an indie dev
Oh, I
section,
see.
and then you reach out to them. You try and get a dev kit,
Right.
and then once you have your dev kit, I think you can just release. But getting that dev kit is a whole process.
Wow.
Same with like PS4, and you have to be set up for it too. That's
Right.
the issue. So like with a PS4, you have to have a static IP specifically for that PS4 to
Right.
be in your house because they send
What?
you a developer
Oh.
copy.
Right.
Um,
Holy.
yeah, so it's a whole thing.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, man.
And there's a lot of like writing and sort of like rant writing, but not
Yeah.
involved. So you have to sort of know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But I think the barriers are slowly coming down.
Right.
And it's becoming less about like who you know and who can get you in.
And more about just like
More
the
about
content.
like,
and
is your
the-
content good?
Right. That was good. That was good.
That was really good.
Holy, did you even know that? I know nothing about that.
I barely know anything about it.
You know
I'll
just
try.
of it. You know just of it. So then there's the whole, I'm gonna go back to gamer. So the whole stereotype of what a gamer looks like, because
Oh,
you're
gosh.
like a female, and we usually think of like the dude in the
Do you
basement.
still though?
I still do.
Really?
I still feel that you guys don't even need sunlight. Like you're just in the basement, right?
How about you have a nephew, right? Does your nephew think that a gamer looks like that?
Well, I mean, all my nephews are Asian, so. But they're also just like on the sofa, like connected in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, their world is different from ours because now like there's no time limit to the games that they play, right? They're just like endless, which I feel is like slightly dangerous.
Yeah. I feel like the younger generation. I
The
feel so
younger-
old saying that. I'm like, I'm
The
23.
young-
This is not. I feel like the newer generations. There
Yeah.
we go. Of people. Sounds like a level. Are like getting rid of that stereotype. Like it doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
I feel like they're along the lines of like everyone's a gamer.
Right.
Where
Huh.
we, like, us older people still have, oh, like, gamers are people that live in their basements.
Eat ramen noodles all day.
Yeah.
And Red Bull.
And, like, I think I've done that once or twice. That was when I was playing MMOs, which I feel like is a whole different story. I feel like that stereotype still exists for, like, MMO players.
Right.
Because
What's
they're
that,
still,
MMO?
it's like World of Warcraft, that kind of
Yes.
thing. So, like, the giant games that suck up huge amounts of your life and
Yes.
time, but are also, like, a social community, so it's kind of like a Second Life, because there's a Second Life MMO too. Sort of.
Yeah, I remember Second Life.
Yeah.
Like,
Second
and then
Life.
I was like, what? I don't understand why
Yeah.
this exists in
I don't
avatars, and
understand.
I don't understand it.
But so I feel like that stereotype still exists for like people that spend hours and hours of their life playing games
Playing
still.
games. Yeah.
But I feel like gamer in general is not like that stereotype.
Right.
I'm trying to get away from
Yeah.
it.
Trying to stay away from like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what my team looks like.
Yeah, and I feel like even in the past couple of years, which there's been like a huge push for like diversity and
Right.
inclusion and that kind of thing in games, and I feel like that's helped a lot. And we're sort of getting to this new place where there is representation, and we're
Right.
changing what a gamer looks like. So it's slowly growing, and it's funny because like as we started doing that with games, it started affecting like TV and movies and all
Yes.
of the other entertainment. And it's neat. It's not neat, but it's interesting
That things
that
are-
games started the whole thing.
Are people coming?
No, they're leaving.
Class is out.
They're leaving.
We're in a hallway recording this.
It
So
was a
then,
prettier backdrop.
like, you know, games in the past have been very like misogynist and sexist towards like like females.
Yeah.
So
So
do you
has
feel
a
that's
lot of media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you feel that now that's also changing in terms of like what some of that's being seen?
I mean, Wonder Woman just came out. Have
True.
you seen Wonder Woman yet? I want to so bad. It looks so cool. I feel like I'm gonna want to be Wonder Woman for Halloween, but
Ooh, cosplay. What is cosplay?
I don't understand cosplay. I barely got into the whole Halloween thing, so I don't really know. I don't really know. It's a huge thing.
But why is it always associated with like the game, like games? Do you know why there's a connection between?
I mean, it's also associated with like movies and comics and that kind of
Right.
thing too, right? So it's anything that has a visual that they can sort of
Copy,
recreate. And there's a lot of passion that goes into making the costume,
Right.
and then also getting into character and like being that character and knowing lines and how they stand and how
Oh,
they
really?
like yeah, it's
Like full on acting, like
yeah. Well, that's how they do there's photo shoots normally too.
I didn't know this.
And so it's all about like how they pose, who they would hang out with. You
What?
normally get like groups of people doing like group cosplays.
Holy!
Um,
Oh my gosh, man.
yeah, but I don't know a lot about it. I've never even been to
You
like.
know a lot more than we do.
Yeah,
I mean-
I even know that stuff.
I have a lot of friends. But
What's the most popular character in cosplay?
Ooh.
oof. Probably whatever one's the easiest, to be honest. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, because if you had to make it yourself, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
You went to Anime North.
I did, and
Well, who did you see a lot of that you recognized?
Deadpool.
Okay.
I saw a lot of Deadpool, and that's probably the only character I actually knew. Yeah, that was a popular one. I did see a couple Supermans, and then
That's a legacy
Yeah.
of cosplay.
Yeah.
There have been Supermans for a long time.
yeah.
But these are also just the ones that you would recognize.
Exactly. There were some robots that I have no idea who they were. There was a Pikachu, so that's outside
That's
of
cute.
the realm of like Marvel. I think that was the major ones that I would know. Everybody else would be like, I have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know anything. I was actually told to not say a word because I would embarrass everyone because I didn't know anything.
I think that's why I've never been to an anime.
Yeah. That was literally just like, you cannot talk because you're going to get us killed. Because I said something wrong about like Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh, you can't affect the Star Wars.
Yeah,
people.
I said something wrong about Star Wars. The guys in the white, I didn't call them the right
The
term.
stormtroopers?
Yeah, I called them something different.
Oh.
Yeah, see? And then I was told to not say a word anymore. Yeah.
That's,
Who knows? Who knew?
okay, we're back.
And we're back. Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so explaining it for people that have never played Dungeons and Dragons
like
before.
me.
Um, so there are set campaigns that you can get.
Campaign is a
Story.
story.
The whole story of what you're going to do and go be a hero.
Gotcha.
And then with those set campaigns, you get character sheets that are already made and given to you, and you have a story behind you.
Right.
It's normally really generic.
Do you get the characters beforehand or when you start
You get the
playing?
characters beforehand
Okay.
normally, so that you can understand how to be in their head.
Gotcha.
If you need to be a big like macho, like barbarian kind of creature, then you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are those like set campaigns for beginners
Mhm.
that you can get, but we launched right into a creative one because our dungeon master is really, like, he's done this a lot before.
Right. So he created his own campaign.
He has his own campaign,
Okay.
his own story. He actually made
Look at me, I know the lingo.
he made his own mechanics where we draw from tarot cards and stuff too, instead of rolling dice sometimes.
What?
In order to do cool performances. We perform with
Oh.
tarot cards.
No way.
And that's our whole story, is we're like traveling performers.
Wow.
I can't tell you more in
Okay,
case he
that's fine,
decides to like
then-
release the campaign.
Because then we'll have to die.
But so for Dungeons and Dragons, you sit around a table. You're all in person, sitting at a table.
Right.
Dungeon Master's normally at like the head of the table.
And he's leading you guys through.
He puts you in scenarios.
Okay.
It's kind of like being like improv and like him throwing a scenario at you and you have to act it out. So he puts scenarios at you, and so like he's like, you're in town, where do you want to go? And then you throw at him where you want to go. And so you're like, I want to go find this. And he's like, okay, you don't see
And is this
one.
part of the campaign, or are you just doing it like improv? Like, I want to go...
It's all the same thing.
Gotcha.
It's all the same thing.
Gotcha.
So he basically sets the mood and the tone and like tells you what everything looks like, and then the characters react.
Right.
And then the characters are free, so whatever these people say generally happens unless the DM has... The DM is the Dungeon Master.
Right.
Unless the DM has some kind of objection with it. So like my character went off and played with a cat for a little bit because I thought the cat was cute. And everyone there creates their own character that has their own backstory and storylines. And
Okay.
not everyone necessarily knows what everybody else's character's backstory is. It's revealed as your character does things and says things.
Right. So what's the goal? Is to figure out everyone's backstory?
No, the goal is to get through the campaign.
Okay.
It's sort of
But you're like improv.
you have no idea.
Yeah,
you have no idea what the campaign even leads to.
Oh, wow.
Because that can also change depending on what the characters want to do, where the DM sees it going.
Oh,
it's kind of like playing house when you were really little. Where you have this scenario of like you're in the house and the person you're with is like the husband that's like late for work and you have to be angry or whatever, you know? Like,
that's hilarious.
It's along those lines where it evolves depending on.
Yeah. Somebody gets sick. Somebody gets sick, yeah.
Ambulance.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
how long did it
evolves.
take?
We do 8-hour sessions once a month.
Oh, wow.
Once a month.
Wow.
Some people do 2 4-hour sessions once a month.
Okay,
Or
so it
twice a
really
month.
varies. Just
Yeah, it depends on how much you want to play, how much time your group
Committed
is
to.
willing to commit
And
to.
the Dungeon Master would have to account for like
Yes, because he has to prep.
an 8-hour game.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And is that from start to end of the game? That's one campaign?
No.
Or that's only a stage of the...
Yeah. So
What? Wow.
because your
Very intense.
character never, like, unless your character dies, which can happen.
Which can happen.
Your character is just a thing that exists, right? And like
Right.
you go and you become this character, and then you do this campaign.
Right.
And maybe when you get to the end of this campaign, and you've like our goal is to perform at the
Somewhere.
giant fair kind of thing.
Yeah.
But once we get there, the campaign doesn't necessarily end
What?
because
Wow.
the DM can just come up with a new story, and then we go off and we become
Go
like these
somewhere
adventurers
else.
that have this past now. So we played at this big fair, but now we're gonna go fight this big monster somewhere.
That's almost like choose your own adventure, but
Yeah.
it's like constant.
Yeah,
You're
it never
constantly
has to
choosing.
stop unless you want it to stop.
Right.
So if the DM decides to kill all of your characters, maybe it stops.
He's just fed up with it. He's like, and you're all dead now.
But yeah, like
Which he could
there's
do,
campaign. Yeah, he can
do
that.
anything.
But then he has to go through the hassle of like setting up a new character for you.
Oh.
Unless he wants you out of the campaign in general and doesn't want you to show up anymore.
Wow. That's really interesting, man.
Yeah.
So you really like this type. So this is different in terms of like playing on a console.
Yeah.
This is like now you're with other people. So like, and
What-
you still view them all as games. So it's
Yeah.
interesting because we came in through the digital angle, and like you're more into like this like
Yeah, and I came in like 2 games
Yeah.
through digital.
through digital, right?
And I've ended up being this totally like I'm into social interaction
Interaction with real
things
people.
that way, which is funny because it's always what I've been interested in. I just didn't know how to explain it.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm more into the social side.
The social side of the
And
game.
speaking of how you got into games,
Ooh, segue.
segue.
One Connie. That's why she's there.
Segue. Tell us about watching people game
Yeah. I don't
on
know.
YouTube. This is a phenomenon that is a bit mysterious to me.
Okay.
It's like digital watching digital.
Is it though?
Is
I mean,
it?
like I'm not a digital robot.
But you're watching through digital, somebody else doing something digital.
Yeah. Okay. True.
Anyways, tell
It is
us
super
what
weird.
is so into like
So this is how I got into games. Is I started off watching YouTube. Specifically, I started off watching Lewis and Simon from the Yogscast.
Hello! Hello and welcome to the Yogscast.
Don't worry about that intro.
Have you got a Jaffa cake?
No, there's none here.
Oh, is there any holes I can dig? Oh, I love digging holes. Oh,
God, Jesus Christ.
And so they had this series where they would play Minecraft, and then they created whole stories in Minecraft, kind of like a D&D campaign, where it was just it evolved as it went. It was like
I actually know what Minecraft is, so I'm just like, totally can follow this conversation.
But it had this like whole storyline, and I thought that it was really cool how they created this whole storyline, and then I got into them, and I watched their whole series, and then I ended up finding all these other YouTube channels where it's like people playing games, the whole thing. So you never have to buy the games, really. Which, like, as a poor, broke kid, was good.
Was good. Vicariously through these other people who have the games.
Yeah, but then you also end up finding people with personalities that you really like. So, like, all of mine are, like, really funny.
Right.
They'll add things to the game. Maybe they're voice actors. Maybe they read aloud some of the text in the game that's not read aloud in the game.
Okay.
So they add their own spin to it, and then they'll notice things that you wouldn't notice.
Right.
Like maybe a lamppost light is flickering, and maybe that's something to do with the game's lore, but you wouldn't have noticed it if you were playing.
Oh.
So it's interesting to see other people's perspectives on how they interact with the game. That's why I like it.
Wow.
And that's also why I got into games, because I thought that was interesting, and they pulled me in. I wasn't a gamer before then.
You were a watcher.
I was I was like just not into games at all. I was like a music person mostly. Like that was my entertainment.
But were they were mostly playing like digital games? They weren't playing like board games or stuff like that.
Oh
right?
yeah, they did. I don't think anybody started playing board games on YouTube until the past 2-3 years.
Really?
And now they play board games on YouTube, and I'm really into it.
I didn't even know that. I thought we were just talking about people watching digital, like people.
But now it's moved into like
it's moved into board games.
Like what
too.
kind of board games?
I mean, they also do D&D, but all of the like.
Wow, I'm gonna do some
It's
Google
really
searching.
interesting.
I'm gonna do
It's
some
really
YouTube
interesting.
searching soon.
I mean, watching a group of people play Monopoly or something would not be very interesting.
That
Oh
looks
my gosh,
super
that's
dry.
because you think that the new board games that exist are like Monopoly. So there's like a whole world.
Random little.
Wow, I was gonna be like Scrabble.
Monopoly is the worst board game.
I love Scrabble.
There's a whole world of board games
I guess so.
that are new, that are out there. Like when you go to 401 Games, you need to just leave your kid upstairs and go downstairs and like look around. Because it's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of come into this it became a trend again.
Board games.
Like board games became a trend again, and now there's this whole revamp. And now everybody's sort
Of
of
the classic
making-
or of
No, oh my
types
gosh,
of
like new types of board games.
Hey, scoring for the classics.
classic. Remember Hungry Hippos? Man, that was good. That was a good game.
Connect Four.
Sorry. Yeah. Are we just dating ourselves right now?
Yes. It's okay. I used to think that those are the only board games that existed. But like there's ones where you get like really in depth into like the role play and the strategy.
As a
And
board game?
As a board game, which is probably also why you think D&D is so like out there.
Yeah. I just find playing 8 hours in a game is long.
Okay, there are board games that are short.
Yeah.
There's like half-hour board games. There's
Like,
really
I
like
I'm gonna go to 401 Games and look for the short board games. We can play.
You should get
Stay tuned for our next episode where me and Connie are trying to play new games under 2 hours.
I think I need to go with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Pick out the games.
This
is to be continued.
This is to be continued.
We can pause.
Nice.
And we're gonna come back.
Oh my
With
god.
board games.
Playing
with
board
board
games.
games. We're gonna say goodbye now.
Peace. Bye.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We'll have an outro.
An outro next time. Hey, if you liked what you saw and you want to join the conversation, other George Brown alumni, please feel free to contact us. I'm going to put something down here right now, and we'll continue this fireside chat more often so that you can speak about your experiences as alumni, to other graduating, to other current students, about what you're doing in the field and how you're killing it and crushing it right now. Subscribe now.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
Am I in that shot?
Yeah, you're in that shot.
Okay.